Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So, we are here for another session of Thoughtful Thursdays, and today we have Deepak Saini with us. Deepak is an established author, tech founder, and heartfulness trainer. He will guide us through heartfulness practices and the tools which we are going to navigate today will help us align our thoughts, words, and actions and how we can lead authentically with heart as our axis. So we'll understand what is axis of life all about and how knowing this, how we can navigate the axis of our own life. So over to you, Deepak.
Well, thank you so much, Varundeep ji. And am I audible?
Yes, you are.
All right. So good evening and welcome all. And I actually wanted this session to be quite interactive, but given the format, Varundeep ji and I have figured out a way to see how we can make the best of this thing. So the topic, what we have for the evening is the axis of life, which is actually axes of life. And the idea is that there are many axes of life. There is a work-life axis. There is a personal mastery and collective, what you call excellence axis. Then there is, my family and my inner journey. That is another axis. So there are many axes which are there, but at the center of it is you, where the origin point lies. It's very much like one singularity at which all the dimensions are collapsing. And that is what matters the most. The idea of talking about these different axes of life is to see how we can establish a balance between all these axes of life and how we can have a holistic growth. More often than not, we tend to have emphasis only on one part of life. And this is what basically wobbles the axis of life. In a different stages of life, we have one focus. Yes, we should have one focus, but when that becomes too much, then the other dimensions of life suffer. And that is what creates stress, strain, and unease, the anxiety that we feel. So that is the overall idea about this particular topic. And the way we intend to do is in a question answer session between Varundeep ji and myself. And I would request all of you to participate through chat and whichever way she allows. So let's see where we go. Over to you, Varundeep ji.
Right. Thank you so much, Deepak. Just one announcement to everyone. Whosoever has any question while we are conversing among ourselves. However, this conversation is for all of us. And wherever you think that there is a related topic, a question that you want to ask, please put your question in chat or Q&A. And if you want to speak, we can unmute you and you can get onto this particular conversation. So as much as we converse and keep it interactive, the more benefit we will be able to reap out of this particular session. Okay, so Deepak, like you mentioned that there are various axes of life, and uh, uh, if I talk about, I think the first axis of life which all of us being working professionals navigate is the work-life balance. So how do we deal with this particular thing? Because I think this is the most pivotal axis around which our life rotates. Because professionally and personally, we can't run away from either of them.
Absolutely. And let me ask you a question in return. How do you define work? What is work?
See, here I am referring to the professional assignments that we
Sure.
are the roles that we are
understand.
obligated to perform.
Obligated,
Apart from, yeah,
obligated to perform. That's a very
yes,
typical part of the argument.
yeah,
Thing which we must do,
yeah.
we have to do is work.
Okay,
Okay. Now, this is not only about our professional obligations. It basically extends to every dimension of our life. It's like this. When pandemic was in force, and my duty was to wash the utensils. Well, for some time that was a huge work. That sounded like an appraisal to be filled every day. That was work for me. Similarly, for a child, if you ask him to wake up in the morning, that's work. So the definition of work, if we look at holistically, is more about what we must do without which काम नहीं चलेगा, that is work. So if we just bind it to the work domain, I think we are just solving one part of the problem. If we look at it from a holistic perspective, then the obvious answer to this will come, is there a possibility where work can become no work? Okay. Or in other words, is there a possibility where work can become play? Now, let me ask you another question. What is play?
Like you said, work is not limited to something which we are obligated and we have to do, without which things may not work. I think play is something which we always feel like doing, where nobody has to push us. We find joy and happiness doing that particular thing is what
Happiness,
I think.
joy, which we want to do. I think this is where the things basically are ending towards. Anything where I naturally gravitate to is play. Okay. Now, one way to look at it is that all my activities in all dimensions of my life, all spheres of my life, if I can do something where it can enter into this domain of play, that's one way of looking at it. What will it take? It will take, yes, let's say if I'm a good singer and I get into the singing industry, I may like it. If I'm good at, let's say, maths and I get into accounting, maybe that is something which is good. Yes, it will not take care of the meetings and other things, yes, but mostly I will be in my zone where I will be able to experience that peace, that happiness, the joy without being forced into. What about the things which must be done? There is no way, for example, even if you get yourself into a coaching academy, a training academy for playing cricket, there is a training which you must go through. There's something which must be done till it becomes so natural that it doesn't require any effort. So this is the second part of it. There are certain things which must be done. And once we understand that it must be done, we have to do it enough that it becomes automatic. As they say that you have to make efforts to ensure that things becomes effortless. But yes, there is a third category, which is pure irritation. It's pure nuisance. You can't avoid it. Office politics is one of these. Filling up the reviews for me was one of those activities when I was in corporate world. Well, for that, the simple answer is there's a book called Eat That Frog. I'm forgetting the name of the author, which says that
Brian Tracy.
in your to-do list, sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, Brian Tracy.
Brian Tracy. So in your to-do list, you finish that frog, which is, croaking the most, and then you get done with it. So these are the three methods which are there, and it is about training yourself into how do we really attempt it. What can be solved by method 1, what can be solved by method 2, and what can be solved by method 3. There is a beautiful thing, the way we are designed human beings, that anything which we do, there is a reward that is there in the brain, which is called the dopamine. Dopamine centers in our brain. They are designed to basically help us do things. Even if you, let's say, click a button and there's a feedback button and you get a confirmation that, oh, you have pressed it, there's a small dopamine release in your brain. So if we gamify our work in a way that we pick up those heavy elements which we need to do in day-to-day work, there is a way to finish that off pretty quickly. And there's no escaping from the groundwork, we need to do that. There's no escaping from it. So these are the 3-4 methods that we can deploy to see how much of the work can be converted into play. Once we do that, The other dimension is life. And this is what surprises me. This is basically one bar and two dimension of it, or magnet. There are two parts of it. They're same linear continuous parts. There is no separate things like work and life. They are integrated. I ask my wife often that, she's like, I'm fed up with office. Then I ask her, if you were not in office, what would you do? And this is a very interesting question because I'm not sure how many people can answer that. If you're not working, what will you do? Right now, you are busy either doing things or trying to avoid it. In between planning trips, breaks. But if that work is taken away, what will you do? If the answer to that you have, then you should make that as your objective and works towards it. It may not happen today. It may take some time, but you will go there. So there's a short-term fix and there's a long-term fix. And a combination of two is something which you have to try and see which one works for us. Okay, over to you.
Yeah. So thank you. It is really insightful. However, one question that comes to my mind when you talk about converting work into play, I think most of the people would say that, okay, if you have to convert work into play, probably you have to plan, maybe strategize, and then they are so occupied. Where is the time? Where we will find the time to convert work into a play kind of a situation, right? So, what are your thoughts about that particular?
My thought is I'm an architect by my training and then other things. As architects, we are trained to look at things from bird's eye view first. I would not even start anything if I have not looked at things completely. Now, if the train is running, if the car is running and I need to change the wheel, that's a different problem. And yes, that's a problem. But for that also, things can be planned. We have to make time because making time will save us time. The urgent will always stay urgent. We cannot compromise on important in favor of urgent. We need to sit down, we need to pause, we need to take a break. And this is where the heartfulness practices can come in handy. The pause is the moment where you realize that there is something else to life also, other than running. Because while you are running, it's like, why are you running? Because the other person is running. There is no goal. There's a goal. Yes, you have to close your books and things like that. All those things will carry on. But in the long term, it is an endless race. And these important things should be made urgent for them to get our mind space and time to do something about it. You have to create time, in short.
Interesting that. I'll just pause to ask the audience if they have any questions related to the conversation that we have, if they need any clarification or they want to add any inputs. Anyone? You can put it in chat also. Like if you don't want to speak it out, we can read through the chat. Okay. So Deepak, in your since you have been conducting these sessions very often and with large number of people across, so what do you think people are more concerned? Like most of the topics that we have covered, the two important topics like the work-life balance that you have rephrased that it should be kind of a work-life integration or work-life harmony rather than trying to balance both these aspects, and then work should be converted into play. So it becomes automatic, and then the time is not something which will be there, but needs to be created in order to make this. Okay, Jayant is asking to unmute. Maybe we'll hear him out first, and then we will go on
Sure.
to the. Yeah,
Hello, Jim.
Yeah,
yeah.
good
Hi,
evening.
hi. Good evening, Jayant.
Good evening, Varundeep ma'am.
Yeah.
Good evening, Sunny sir. Yeah,
Good.
you said it very rightly that pause is required, and I'll relate it to as a conscious pause. because we are so overburdened, overworked, definitely miss the beauty of the life altogether. So that conscious pause is required sometimes. We may feel like, what is this I am doing? If I don't work consistently, regularly, where then I may miss my goal also. But conscious pause is really required, and like you rightly said, you save your time by planning well. So that is very relevant in today's work because we are so overstressed with the work and the deadlines. So sometimes we forget what is important for me and what can be delayed. So maybe I'm working more on what can be delayed and not what is important for me now. So that conscious pause is very much required. Thank you.
I will just add that one more thing, Jain, to this, Javan, to
Hmm.
this particular thing. It is this this thought is attributed, or this thing is attributed to Einstein, and he said
Yeah,
that if you give me 1 hour to solve a problem, I'll spend 55 minutes understanding it.
great.
And there's a law also, right? I'm forgetting the name. I'm poor with the names recalling, but 80-20 law.
Yeah. That is Pareto principle actually.
It was principle.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
forget the power of planning,
Yes.
a power of, as you said, a deliberate pause.
Hmm.
Nothing is
Yeah.
going to change. The world is not going to miss you.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Thank you very much. Nice session. Yeah, I'm enjoying
Thank
it.
you. Thank you,
Thank you, ma'am.
Jayant.
Yeah, thank you.
Now we have Shiva Kumar, and he has got an interesting question for you, Deepak.
Hello,
Yeah, good
Shiva.
evening.
Yes, you're audible, loud and clear.
Yeah, very good evening, sir. Thank you very much, Varunadip ji. Good evening. See, the actual thing is, I have another session at 8 o'clock, the skill arbitrage, a role play session of corporate governance. I am really going to miss this session. So, my question is, sir, we work in the department like ISRO, Department of Space. It's a very strategic and high technical work. How can we convert our day to day work into play? We can't do that there, office, what I be like our personal work.
First of all, having a person like you on this session is an honor.
Thank you
It's
very much, sir. Very
something.
kind of you.
So gratitude. Okay. Shiv Kumar ji, anything which has a purpose is already a play.
Yeah,
Anything which has a purpose is not a burden.
yeah,
If you know why are you doing it and there is a motive which is beyond yourself, you don't have to do anything. You
yeah,
already have even better thing with you, which is
yes,
a purpose. So I think you are right there. You are at a bigger mission, a bigger
yes,
purpose.
yes,
What we are talking about is something which is still primary
yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
session.
Right. Thank you, Shiva Kumar, for an interesting question that brought in a new perspective for all of us, I think.
Yes,
Okay, so one interesting input and one interesting question, and I think a very relevant point. So we were discussing, while we have discussed the work-life integration and converting work into play and finding time. The next thing I think where I find that most of the time, while we are trying to make time, we find struggles in finding that particular thing. We sometimes label certain things, uh, mislabel certain things as urgent or important, while they are not making any sense towards the goal. I usually give this example that I have seen a dog running behind a car, but I always wonder what if he ever catches that particular car. So that is how it happens with us most of the time. We are chasing certain goals where we are not sure where these goals will lead us to, and we mark them urgent, important, and such things happen. So, how do you suggest a navigation through all such things, and how they can contribute in making time?
It's a very interesting question. If anything is being done just for the sake of it with childlike innocence, that's a blessing. For example, have you seen a child who is just dancing? The little girl just dancing on its own, is not worried about anything. Or a little, chota bacha, he just keeps running. He doesn't care what you do. He's just running. That is being in present. That is innocent. So anything which has innocence, anything which has childlike quality, a joy, no validation, no applause, nothing, which is good. These are the pure moments. But then there are things which we think are important and we chase them only to find they are not. Something which we thought is going to give us peace, but it did not. A promotion which we may be chasing, and we got the promotion, and then we wonder, okay, all right, this is fine. What next? What I find very important for me to keep going is to have a purpose which is an overarching goal of my life. Something which is my North Star, which is my raison d'etre, as we call in French. Pardon my French, but the reason to exist. It may not be a very grand thing, Kim, I need to launch a rocket. It could be a very simple thing that I really want to be a good father. Or I just want to do my job properly. Or it could be, I just want to create my paintings in peace. It could be anything, but something which is so dear to your heart that when you are there, you're one with it. It is your meditation. Meditation is not just sitting for 30 minutes with eyes closed in Sukhasana or Padmasana. Meditation is effortless focus. Wherever we can get absorbed and where the time can vanish and the place does not matter is meditation. So that kind of goal in your life where you are able to go to that space at your wish is extremely important to make sure that all the other clutter in our life, the clamor in our life is cut off. It's like when you have something really good, you don't care about reasonable or okay or those things like that. They will just drop off by themselves. So the direction is important. A direction in my life will help me to keep me narrow and focused. It will also give me a lot of joy. It will help me convert my work into play. I'll find out methods to convert my work into play. So it is like the engine. It is like engine which drives me towards my goal. So again, pause, think. What is so dear to myself that, to put it poetically, it's worth dying for, or which I really want, and
Right.
then work.
Yeah, please. Right. So very interesting perspective, Deepak, on this particular thing. And we have two gentlemen, Anish and Vinod, who have brought in a few interesting concepts. I would request Anish to unmute himself and take the conversation further.
Yeah, Deepak, some of the things which you just lastly mentioned is relating to what I wanted to ask was, in our field where we are into IT and technology, the things, technology, the landscape, the environment is changing so fast that we are in a constant race of getting everything and fear of missing out on things if we don't put time or spend time across. Okay. And at the sometimes and when we take a pause, we really think of, oh, is it something that is what we are worth doing it or in a race? And my purpose of this attending is to, as you mentioned, what are other heartfulness practices which really help us to achieve and I will say discover or rediscover our purpose, which can really make us more meaningful.
Thank you, Anishji, for your question. The best heartful practice is to be heartful. That's it. Everything else is secondary. Go to your heart, and it doesn't need to be 5 o'clock in the morning. It can be any time. Just go to your heart, and see what you really want. What is it telling you? This run of the life, right? Let's say if all the, if you're reading a book and there is no space, it is gibberish. You can't read it. Without pause, without that gap, you cannot make sense of any sentence. That is being heartful. Heartful. Your heart should be full. Full of what? Your heart should be full of who you really are. And that's what we need to find for ourselves. A mango tree, a mango will become a mango tree. A seed will become a mango tree, right? A tamarind will become a tamarind tree. We don't have to force ourselves to do this and that. We just need to find what I am, what makes sense to me, what is my goal, and how do I go towards it. This is heartfulness. There are practices like meditation, like cleaning, like body scan, and other things which are there, which are always there. Very simple. They'll only help you. But the real thing is this intention. The why, as they say, right? I think Friedrich Nietzsche said, if you know why, how you will figure out. So know the why. What and how will come. I'm not sure if I answered, but
No, that's correct. Heartfulness, being heartful is something, yes, to be thought about. Yep.
perfect.
Thank you, Anish. Lots of questions coming your way, Deepak. Next is Vinod. So thank you, Anish. Vinod, maybe you can unmute yourself and ask the question, please.
Yeah, hi, Vandeep. Hi,
Yeah,
Deepak.
hi.
So this is just in continuation with the Anish, what he asked about. So my question is, how do we realize we need a genuine pause or a break as we are engaged in work, or to have ourselves updated, being a technology guys.
Vinod Bhai.
Deepak, one
Ji.
second. I think Jitendra also had a similar question. If you want to just hear his question and then answer together, or maybe.
I think we'll go ahead. We'll do that.
Sure. Okay, let's
So,
go ahead.
Vinod
Ji.
Understand this thing. It's like this. Life cannot be lived with fear. Fear has its role. Fear has its role. No doubt about it. Like darkness has its role. The element of earth has its role. Fear has a role. It can be used as a motivating factor, but it cannot be used as a guiding factor. Guiding can only happen through love, even desire, but not because of fear. If the landscape is changing, if the technology is really going at neck break speed, theek hai, it's okay. That's fine. But if there is no Vinod left, there's no Deepak left, there's no Varun Deep left, who will chase what? This pause is that as important as that to make the meaning of life. So it is not like when do we realize? It is the fundamental nature. Even when we breathe, there is a pause. You breathe in, there is a pause. When you breathe out, there is a pause. Without pause, the universe cannot function. It is natural. What we just need to do is to see it, is to get a little deeper and just see it. It is there. It is there. And once you see it, it will expand itself.
Mm-hmm.
So we just need to see again. Pausing just means one way to do that is this actually. Whatever you are trying to do, just try to do exactly opposite for 2 days. See what happens in life. Challenge yourself. The problem is like when I was in corporate, is like my feeling was if I just take a break for 1 day, this company will collapse. As if in my shoulders only this company is standing. As if I was not there, this world will stop spinning. Nothing is going to happen, sir. Nothing is going to happen. Chill, relax. Take a pause whenever you want, actually. It is your birthright. That's what I would say. And see what happens.
Sure.
Right.
Thanks.
Right. And a very interesting analogy came to my mind. One of our professors, he used to talk about what is called lizard syndrome. He says that when lizard is on the ceiling, upside down, a lizard has a feeling that the entire burden of that ceiling is on that particular lizard. And I think most of us are living that lizard syndrome. We feel that everything, the burden lies on our own shoulders. If we will just take a leave or take a break, probably the ceiling will fall down. So that is what you beautifully explained to in response to Vinod's question.
I like this. I'm going to use it someday.
Right. Thank you. I think Jitendra is in a noisy area, but he has a question. He says that due to overburden, I'm unable to balance of personal and professional life. How can I rectify it?
I would say you are burdened because you are not able to have a balance. It is not the reverse. Please understand the cause and effect. The cause is the imbalance, and the effect is what you're feeling. So fix the cause, get the balance first, and it will manifest on the other side. It is a very common mistake we do. This morning I was talking to one of my friends. A psychiatrist is recommending him to take a supplement, a melanin supplement to induce sleep. It is all jumbled up. We need to see what is the mool karan, what is the cause and what is the effect. The problem in life is imbalance. If we fix that, everything else will fall in place. I'm repeating myself, but that's how it is. Take a pause. As Varundeep gave this beautiful example, ceiling is not going to fall, dude. It is there. The world will not stop spinning. Just take a pause and see what happens. It is something which needs to be experimented.
Right. I think that during COVID, all of us got the lessons, but which we forgotten very quickly. That at that point in time, a lot of work means the entire universe has taken a little pause and things improved. That is a kind of a great reminder to all of us, I think.
Yes, indeed. It is a thing, right? Who are we to take care of if we really see? Do we have any control on sun rising and the rain falling? Do we have in control even our being born? Do we have any control in our death? Do we really have control in the major things in our life?
Yeah.
And whatever that nature, that capacity, that whatever that is, if it is taking care of the whole universe, am I not part of that universe? Will he or she or whatever that power is will not take care of me? Why am I getting so over tensed that if I just blink, the world will stop spinning? No, it will not.
Thank you, Deepak. A very interesting perspective. I think now Gaurav has a question. Gaurav, please unmute yourself and ask for yours. Gaurav, are you there? Okay, all right.
Okay.
I was asking to wait. Okay, so just to summarize by that, I think the entire thing spins around what we have gathered so far is taking a meaningful pause rather than just running around and trying to manage a lot of things. And like you mentioned, that we are out of balance. The things are out of balance because we are not balanced. We have not given the due consideration to the balance, whatever is required.
And the other, just to add one more point, this pause you can take anytime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can take any time. It is not like सुबह 5 बजे उठ के करना है. वो तो है.
Right.
The pause any time.
And I think if we yeah, Gaurav, you want to unmute yourself and ask this question? Okay, so he's saying, what is balance and how can we find it? So Gaurav is asking this.
Have you ever seen a top spinning? That is balance. It is just one tiny spot which is in touch with the surface, and the whole load is there. And by the way, you can make top as big as possible. It still needs that tiny thing. If that center is aligned, it'll spin. The moment there's a little difference, it's going to wobble and eventually fall. That what keeps us alive, that what keeps us spinning is balance. Right now, that stress that we feel is the wobble, precisely because we are not balanced. When you are in balance, you are at peace. When there is no pain in your leg, you don't complain about your leg. You don't even feel your leg. If you're breathing properly, you don't go to a doctor. That is balance. Anything which is natural is balance. Anything which attracts your attention is imbalance. Now, how do you find it? You don't have to find it. It is. You have to fix the imbalance. The balance will be found itself. Balance is the natural state. Imbalance is the unnatural state. And to fix the imbalance, first know that you are imbalanced. And once you know you are imbalanced, devote some time to fix it. Anything which is worthwhile is not free. By free, I don't mean money. By free, I mean energy, effort. Because when you work for something, when you make efforts, the serotonin network in your brain gets activated. Serotonin is the happiness molecule. Dopamine is the pleasure molecule. When you get something with very low efforts, it's a dopamine that kicks in. But when you really make efforts, it's the serotonin network that kicks in, and which is long lasting. It is happiness. And happiness is balance. Pleasure is imbalance. Am I making sense?
Gaurav, does that answer your question? Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that again reminding me, like having a conversation is just giving me thoughts. There was a revolutionary reformer and philosopher and poet called Bulle Shah. Maybe you might have heard about him, right? So once he was like working in paddy fields, and somebody came and asked like how to find God, like we are asking how to find balance. So he says that Bulleya Rabbuda ki poda edro putna te edro nana. Means, like he said while he was sowing the paddy fields, the rice, he says that it is means it is very easy to find God. You just have to pull from here and put it there. That means you have to have that mind, the shift in the mindset, that you have to bring out your mind from this particular place and place it there. And it is as easy as that. I think that is what I could gather from your response to Gaurav's question, that finding balance is as easy as that, and it is as difficult as that particular thing. It all depends on us.
This is a fascinating story, but I would like to ask everybody one thing. Do we really want to find balance, or do we just want solutions to our problems?
I think we are very happy living in problems. We want to be problem solvers, and if we might not feel alive, to be very true, if there are no problems. That is how I would say it, at least, because I used to had that particular feeling that if there are no problems, what is the use? I am for in this particular organization. That is how we are. But slowly and gradually, I have learned that I don't exist because the problems exist.
See, this is the crux actually, Varun Deepji. Thank you for answering that. And I would ask other people also to opine. Do we really want to find balance? Or do we really want just our problems to be solved at our condition? Okay, मेरे को ऐसे चाहिए. It is demanding. When Bulle Shah says that it is as easy as plucking up plant here and placing it there is a complete resignation there. कि जो होगा देखा जाएगा, जैसे रब दी मर्जी. हमको क्या चाहिए? इधर चाहिए, मर्सिडीज भी चाहिए, गाड़ी भी चाहिए, उधर वो चाहिए, मेरे को हेवन भी चाहिए. This is the problem. We actually, in my opinion, in my interactions, we really don't know what we want. Because if you really know what we want, trust me, we will have it. We will have it. The only thing that we are given as human beings is free will and mind. And it is what God also cannot contradict with. But what do we really want? We become what we want. It is the truth. When we say that I want to, let's say, get rich, it is the wanting to get rich. That feeling is important. It is not actually the riches. When I want balance, the want of the state of wanting to be balanced is something which gets established in my head, in my mind, in my heart. As you said, the dog is following the car, it's barking at it, and it doesn't know what to do with it when it catches it. There is a famous dialogue from this movie, Batman, where the Joker says that I'm like a dog who chases the car but doesn't know what to do when I catch it. हमको भी नहीं पता when we get this balance, what will we do with it? We need to think about it. These little states of balances which we get when we are meditating, when we are pausing, we are not able to find time for them. What will happen if that becomes permanent? Tell me.
So Deepji has brought in a very interesting point. I think we will hear him and then your perspective on this. Deepji, over to you. Deepji, we are unable to hear you. Hello. I think some issue with his voice. I'll just read out what he says, that there is no.
Now it's clear?
Yeah. Now it's working.
Hi, Deepak ji, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. So the life is very simple, but there are two types of people in the world. One is how to express ourselves, and second is how to impress others, right? And 95% of the people are living in this field ki, okay, I need to impress somebody, right? If I impress, I will get a good job. If I impress, so we will get a good matrimonial type of things, right? So, but life is a very simple. We have the habit of making it a very complex, right? And sometimes we have a, from the very beginning, from our school time or from our right parents side, parenting is just like that कि आपने स्कूल का काम कर लिया यार, इतना हंस क्यों रहा है, टीवी देख रहा है, काम तेरा हो गया. So they keep on reminding us कि your life is a complex, right? Why you are so happy? So if we are seeing a one person, he is a very cheerful, he is happy, so we are feeling like that he is not serious in, so we love seriousness, right? So this is the problem. Actually life is not that tough, right? And if there is a one question asked by Shekhar Kapoor to Sadhguru, right? Sadhguru, you have been to US, right? I have been also to US, but lot of people have stress, right? 83% of the marriages are flopped there in US, right? So the question is, what is stress? What is tension? So the answer is very simple. It's your inability to handle the situation, right? So whatever we are feeling right now, it's not a new thing, right? Most of the people are like that only, right? And life is 50 years back also like that. Now we are talking about the floods and all these things in the Punjab, but in 1988 it was the same process, right? So nothing new. It's very clearly said in Gurbani, चिंता ताकि कीजिए जे अनहोनी होए. अनहोनी तो कभी होती नहीं. जो हो रहा है वो पहले से भी हो चुका है, और मैन महाभारत से टाइम से हो ही रहा है, तो हमें हमें किसी को इम्प्रेस नहीं करना. We just need to express ourselves, right?
Well said. We just need to express ourselves. We just
Yes.
need to do what we are supposed to do. That is very important to find
Yes.
कि मैं जो कर रहा हूं मैं क्यों कर रहा हूं. क्या मैं डर से कर रहा हूं? Is the fear the reason of doing this thing? Or is the fear, is it my desire, or is it my love? And there's no problem in desire, there's no problem in fear also. But when those become too much, that is where the disbalance comes in. You see a soap bubble, right? A soap bubble, beautiful. It reflects sunlight, breaks it into 7 colors, bounces off, flirts with the air. There are 2 forces which work on it. One is the pressure, and second is surface tension. If these 2 forces are not there, it will burst or it will contract. Our life is like that. Fear is also important, which makes us hold ourselves. But there is some objective, some bigger goal is also important, which expands our horizon, which makes us look beyond our smaller self. And I don't mean big things I'm going to change the world. It could be very simple things. I'm just going to be someone who's going to die in peace. It could be anything. But there should be something which gives me that inspiration in my life. And when that happens, what you said, Gurudeep ji, is true. Anhoni to hoti nahi hai. It is our interpretation of it. So things are not that complex, you're right. Things are indeed simple.
So thank you, Gurudeep ji, for an interesting perspective. So thank you. Sumendra, you can go next.
That's right. I just wrote, I'm an operational excellence guy. Yeah. And actually, I'm just coming from a training. I gave a training to Suman. You have seen that posting also. So I just trained the people on how to think of a continuous improvement. And continuous improvement philosophy, as popularized by Toyota, always thinks that you have to find problem अच्छे होते हैं. Problems are for good. Because if you don't have problem, you will not grow. Okay. So, but I know our context is different in this one. Just on a lighter note, I shared.
No,
because
the context is exactly this, Soman Saab. What we need to find is the imbalances in our life, so we get to the perfect balance. You're right. It's where we use it. It's where we use it. Thank you for sharing this.
Right, Sumendra. So he always says it depends.
Yeah, it depends. my popular way is, balance. Finding problems is good or not good. It depends, right? In what context you're looking. And the other perspective is, see, whenever we do any, and I'm just talking on the operational excellence side. See, whenever there are various ways to find problem, right? So you can do a muda hunting, like you can find waste in the process, inefficiencies in the project, defects in the process. And also you can find problems when you do a reflection. So when you do a job, right, when you do a project, and there is a technique called ANSI, or lessons learned or reflection session. In the reflection session, we think what went well, what went wrong. It's opportunity for improvement, opportunity of finding how we can fix. So this is the perspective I'm sharing. I know, but we are talking more on a holistic level here.
No, it is relevant.
So just a perspective.
These reflection sessions are nothing but our meditation sessions.
Absolutely.
So it is related. It is right there.
Right. So I think what you also mentioned, Deepak, related to pause. Pause is actually what we are trying to reflect on, the lessons that we have learned and why the things are getting repeated in our life, the crisis or maybe certain scenarios. I think that is where Sumendra's perspective and what you have been discussing so far makes a lot of sense. And thanks to Sumendra, he brought in a very interesting perspective. I had not thought about it from that side, but it is becoming very relevant now when I heard your conversation.
So I'm paid. I'm as a lean consultant. I'm paid to find problems in the shop floor. I'm paid to find problems in the motivation. I'm paid to use the tools training. So different way of looking at the same thing. But finally, as Deepak was saying, the why we have to find problems, we have to continuously try to attain the balance, because balance is a less friction, self-sustained mode, right? So we have to make machine processes, everything's autonomous, self-sustained, and that is another way of saying we have to put things in balance.
Right.
In our terms, we say that we have to create automatism in our lives, where
Absolutely.
that balance becomes natural to us. We don't have to see and say, where do I find this balance? We are balanced. And that wobble that we feel is fixed. We are also very sensitive to QA, right? We also have our QA. We find the wobbles in our lives. That's what this session is all about. How to find the wobbles in our life and how to fix it.
So
All
thank
right.
you, Sumendra, Deepak, on that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Deepak, my question to you now is that how do you nurture your mind, heart, and body on daily basis, so that, like, while we are in continuous journey of finding the balance and creating the balance, how do we keep these three things, heart, mind, and body, nurtured on daily basis, and how to attain optimism in this particular thing?
Varundeep ji, body is a machine. And any machine can be trained and fine-tuned. But what is required, that is software of the machine is working properly. That software is our mind. Okay. And when the software is working fine and the machine is automated, half of our problems are solved. Okay. How to do that is to put a system in place. What automatism generally means, that the cause or the effect of a process becomes the cause for the next process is automatism. Chain reaction. Let's say you wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and then there's a sequence of activities you do: freshen up, sit for meditation, have a cup of tea, whatever it is, go for jogging, so on and so forth. And then that is done over and over again. Have your meals and things like that. If that system is maintained, your body clock will set automatically. 50% plus our problem is because of this body clock mismanagement. The melanin problem that I was talking about, my friend, he cannot get sleep before 1 o'clock. And he cannot wake up before 9 o'clock in the morning. And he's so paranoid by this that he has to go to a psychiatrist. While we know that it is the fix is possible. But that will is not there to fix it. He wants a pill that can solve the problem. So that is one thing. The discipline part will fix the bodily problems. And for enforcing that discipline, we'll need to regulate mind. Because mind is like the operating system of our computer. Computer is our brain. This is CPU. The mind is like the operating system of it. This is what gives the commands. And to fix that mind, interestingly, you can use only mind. Because mind is the medium. Therefore, in Raj Yoga, it is called as the yoga of the mind. And when the yoga of the mind is used, the software gets fine-tuned. And when that gets fine-tuned, our bodily systems get fine-tuned. Our life gets into an order. And when mind is calm, it is able to communicate with the inner self also very clearly. If mind is muddled, there's no communication between me as consciousness, or me as self, or Atman, and my mind, because my mind is already muddled. So we have to start from the easiest thing. And the easiest thing to do is to have a mechanical, regimental control over our daily life. That is the easiest way to do. Therefore, Hatha Yoga is so popular. Hatha Yoga is nothing but just you telling your body that you are my tool and I am your master. Hatha Yoga has no other reason to exist actually. It is just knowing that you are not your body by the method of mastering it. So I think the best thing, if there is a disbalance, start with the body. Fix that. Fix your curriculum, the correct curriculum. Not sleeping at 1 o'clock, probably sleeping at 10 o'clock and waking up at 5 o'clock. These simple things. Once this is done, it will automatically have a reverse impact on your brain, on your mind. And that will start becoming calmer because natural rhythms will be established. Melanin is produced, is called as the chemical which is related to darkness. When there is darkness, when the sun is on the opposite side, this particular chemical is produced in our brain. I think in the pineal gland, if I'm not wrong. And it basically does a lot of work, which is about calming the mind, doing some repairs and things like that. Extremely important. Whole sanity depends on it. So once this is fixed, the body process will get fine-tuned. The neurotransmitters will start working properly. When they will work properly, they will not trouble us and we will be able to get in control of our mind more easily. Therefore, getting early and meditating in the morning is very, very beneficial. It is scientific and it is on practical, it can be practically experienced. Start there, get to the mind, and you will see then everything else is falling in line. The harder way is to try with the mind first. But that's hard.
Yeah. It is not as easy like capturing the mind. When Yaksha asked Yudhishthir, like which is the like most chanchal sabse kya hai, to he said man. So that is where I think that is the crux of the thing, is that which you beautifully explained, that if we will fix our bodily rhythms, then it will be much more easier to bring the mind in harmony and then achieve what we wish to achieve. So,
Patanjali also says yam niyam pranayam pratyahar dharana dhyana samadhi.
right. Sure. That's very nice. So just one question. I think most of the questions are already answered. People seem to have got an idea. But I just want to ask you a personal question. So looking back, which experiences have shaped your axis of life? That I would want to understand.
There are many. And when I say there's many, because axis of life, or the, what you call, the learning from it is not circular. It is in helix form. So it's just not like you come the full circle. No, you just go better version, better version, better version, better version. So when you think that this is done, you suddenly get a turn there. And then you realize, oh, all right. It is like when you are climbing the Himalayas, you see a range and then you say, I'm over it. And then once you climb it, you see another range standing in front of you. So it's a continuous journey. In my life, if you ask me, thus far, influence of my mother has been extremely important. There have been some instances in my childhood, which I mentioned in my book also, which has been very significant. Then finding my guru has been extremely significant. The experiences that I've gone through, writing my book, presenting it to my master, he writing an introduction to that has been very significant, which has shaped my life. And every time there was a learning behind it. More importantly, it is my failures, which has been very important, which has shaped my life. In the first part of my career, I was heading the department of product for Kyocera. I designed the first phone in India for India in 2006. It was sold under Tata Network. Then I designed the best-selling phone for Kyocera in the US market. I was on the top of the game, and then one day, Kyocera decided to sell off their Indian business. So that was one changing moment where I really found that what I've been so busy about, like the dog chasing the car, suddenly there was no car, there was nothing. I was just all alone running by myself. So that was a big learning. That was a big learning, which again was very painful, but changed a lot many things in my heart.
So very nice perspective, Deepak, and your book, Urban Buddha, I think that also talks about a lot of things that you shared today. So that's really nice. And that again reminded me of one of the saying when one of our coaches mentioned that if you're too busy running towards the destination and forget about fueling your car, then at some point in time you will get stranded, and then you will not be able to even walk an inch. So it is better to take meaningful pauses, like you mentioned, to refuel yourself so that you don't get into that situation where you don't have a point of return and you feel stranded.
But if we don't take pauses, sometimes nature makes you take pause.
Yes.
And when nature does that,
it is hard. Right.
It is what it is.
Right. So, Deepak, thank you very much. It was a very powerful and insightful conversation that we had. I personally enjoyed it, and I'm sure the audience would have too. So, how would you like to end the session, with some meditation practice, or like sharing your closing thoughts?
We can do a quick session if everybody's up for it.
Yeah, I think maybe you can type in chat if we can do a small meditation session.
Or we can do a relaxation session. If
maybe relaxation session.
Up to you.
Should be. Yeah.
You're an expert here. You are the boss. You tell me what is to be done.
Yeah, I think we can do a brief. I think people are saying.
Okay. What do you want? The relaxation or the meditation?
We can have a relaxation, maybe 5 minutes or so that people can feel relaxed and carry on with that. I think the relaxation is something which is coming up while people are okay. Some are saying meditation with relaxation also, but you carry on. Probably we will just experience the outcome without knowing what we did.
Okay, let's do relaxation, and we'll have on the back of it a little bit meditation. Does it make sense? Okay. Gently close your eyes. And take 3 deep breaths. And out. Breathe in. And out. With every breath, just let go your stress for some time. Just relax. Breathe in. And out. Now take your attention to your feet. If your feet are not touching earth, it is okay. Just imagine that some energy is entering through the soles of your feet, in whichever position they are in. Just feel the gentle vibration that is setting in your soles. And then traveling upwards. And as this energy travels up, it is relaxing everything it is touching. It is in your heels now, gently vibrating every particle there. and making its way into your calf muscles, filling it in, spreading all over. Feel the gentle vibrations setting in your calf muscles, in your shin muscles, in your very bones. The energy is now pouring into your knees. All the stress that you feel there is getting dissolved. It's getting evaporated. It is healing it. Your lower legs, your feet, your knees are now completely relaxed. Run your eyes for a moment down there mentally and see if there is any stress, and relax it. The energy is now rushing into your thighs like gentle current, electric current running into your thighs all over, from surface to the very core. And this gentle, mild vibration is taking away all the stress, strain, pain. Making it light. The energy is now pouring upwards into my abdomen area. It's rushing into all the organs there, all the muscles there, spreading like electric current all over, soothing things out, relaxing them thoroughly. And moving upwards into my chest. My lungs are relaxed. My heart is relaxed. And the energy is now pouring into my head. My head is full of this energy, buzzing, vibrating, an amazing sense of peace. And now it is making its way back over my face, dropping down in my throat, entering into my shoulders, engulfing both my arms completely. My whole body is now vibrating gently and is relaxed. All the stress, all the pain is now gone. The energy is now making its way into my heart. It is pouring into it. And from there, it is once again spreading throughout my body. This feeling of peace in my heart is what my real nature is what I really am. I can be here as long as I want. I can come here whenever I want. This is my safe space. Let's be here for 5 minutes. Be with this feeling of warmth, feeling of being at home. Let all thoughts just vanish. Please start meditation. Remember this feeling. Carry this fragrance. It is always there with you whenever you care to find it. You can always return. That's all.
So thank you, Deepak. It was very relaxing. I got interrupted in between. Somebody came in, but after that, like I will reconnect and still feel the same level of energy. That is the. I think Gaurav has one last question coming up.
Yes.
Yeah. So he says, as a technical person, how to control anger if the board executive unnecessarily interferes in matters which are the fault of other department.
Well, that's quite an interesting question, very specific. Can you read that last question? As a technical person,
Yeah.
how to control anger
Yeah, if the board executive unnecessarily interferes in the matters which are fault of other department, means it is not your fault, but somewhere you are getting nagged for that particular stuff.
Gaurav bhai, this depends on context to context. By the way, I've been there myself. What I've understood is this: sometimes shit happens. Try your best, and if it's not, then don't break your head. It will not happen. As Warren Buffett once said, right, that if your standpoints are different, no matter how much you talk, nothing is going to happen. When the emotion takes over, logic goes for a toss. When amygdala takes in, frontal cortex is dead. So any kind of reasoning we do is going to fall on deaf ear. So best is sometime you need to duck it. Try your best logically, but if it's not, then duck it and move on. That's what I did. Because no matter what I do, I will just keep on repeating that thing in like, one lattu in my head that पागल है इसको समझ में ही नहीं आ रहा है. The thing is that it's not like he's not understanding. Probably he doesn't want to understand. What do? You cannot wake up a person who is pretending to sleep. I'm sorry, I don't have more than this on this particular question. Somebody raised hand.
Let me check. Is there? Yes.
I don't know, I just saw something. Anyways.
Okay. So I hope anybody, all the questions are settled. If there is still any question, you can raise now, or probably you can even reach out to Deepak over LinkedIn, or maybe through me also. We'll try to pass on your questions and we'll try to get the answers. Right. And I would request everybody if they can put in the feedback in the comment section, will help us. And our speaker will also know that how good great job he has done. Right. Yes. Yeah. So I think people have really enjoyed the session and the conversation. Everybody is saying wonderful experience, great session, and amazing session. So thank you, Deepak, for your time and wonderful responses and beautiful insights. I think that will help us with bringing our access of life centered the way we want it, rather than just trying to find something which we just want to achieve but don't know what to do with that particular thing. So thank you very much. We look forward to host you sometime in near future again. And thank you very much.
That will be my privilege. Thank you very much for a very interactive session. Despite of the format, I think this was exceptional. Thank you, Varundeep ji, for being an excellent host.
Thank you so much.
It made it so interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about others, but I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it, and I think we got a good interaction from the audience also. I hope they also enjoyed it.
All right. Wonderful. Have a great evening, the remainder of the evening.
Yeah. Right. Thank you so much.
Somewhere.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.